A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage. The snake is too far away.
The python is quite dangerous. I would stay back if I were you.
Thanks for the advice.
A beaded gourd is on display. The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as offerings of fruits to the voodoo deities. Even if that were for sale, Gabriel couldn't afford it. Gabriel doesn't recognize the museum's flags. Large, elaborate drums occupy a corner of the museum.
Please, do not touch the drums. They are authentic.
Authentic what?
Drums. Do not touch them.
An authentic-looking pole marks the center of the room. Authentic what? Gabriel isn't sure. The pole is solidly connected to the floor. An official voodoo wishing stump. Rub it and make a wish, a card says.
Funny, I say the same thing to women. I wish Molly Getty were mine forever. Really, I mean it.
What was that?
Huh? Nothing.
A striking portrait of a turbaned woman is on the back wall. Gabriel wonders who she might be. Even if that were for... Something about the shape of that knife gives Gabriel the creeps. Gabriel doesn't want anything to do with that knife.
Yeah, right. I'd probably cut my own head off with that thing.
Flickering candles lend an appropriately spooky atmosphere to the museum. A leather whip hangs from a peg on the wall.
Oh, hurt me.
The voodoo shrine is filled with items that both fascinate Gabriel and also make his skin crawl.
A waste of some perfectly good wine, if you ask me. It wouldn't be much of a voodoo museum without a voodoo doll. Wonder who that poor bastard was. Will that look sacrilegious? This coffin is so small. Magenta Moonbeam. Voodoo Inn.
A flyer advertising Magenta Moonbeam, a local voodoo inn. Her parlor is on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine. There's a beaten-up old fan in the window. It's silent at the moment. It's an electrical switch.
What does this do?
Turn that thing off.
Oh, sorry.
We have air conditioning, you see.
Yeah, I see. Do you know this woman?
Magenta Moonbeam, yes. She is a local voodoo yen. There are many of them in New Orleans. They often do business selling gris-gris, telling fortunes, providing luck, and occasionally misfortune. I often refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to her.
Goodbye, Dr. John.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
This is the tomb of Marie Laveau, Voodoo Queen of Narlands. A plaque on the tomb reads, Laveau. Food, trinkets, and more unsettling things have been left at Marie Laveau's tomb as offerings from believers.
No thanks.
This old tomb is in a sorry state of disrepair. There's probably no one left in the family to maintain it. This old tomb is in a... There's probably no one... Narlands is famous for its above-ground tombs. The high water table prevents bodies from being interred underground. Near the Laveau tomb is a piece of red brick, undoubtedly a cast-off from spiritual graffiti writers. Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall. Gabriel can't take the marks with him that way.
I want a copy of these strange marks.
The marks are reddish in color and remind Gabriel of crosses. They look like they've been here a few days at least. The name Ross is inscribed on this old tomb.
My family's tomb is down that way, past the Ross tomb.
The marble denizens of the cemetery only stare back blankly.
I don't need to go visit the family tomb today.
St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 is one of the most historic and beautiful places in the quarter. A stone angel leans down to gaze at something unseen. The imposing tomb is elaborately labeled Getty. Two heavy, solid marble doors provide an entrance to the tomb. The doors are heavy and shut tight. There's a small marble plate near the tomb doors. The plate is in locked position. There's a keyhole on the plate, but Gabriel can't operate that without a key. An angel draped dramatically over a stone plinth marks the entrance to a large tomb. Two enormous vases flank the front of the Getty tomb. An old man tends the cemetery with movements akin to a slow drawl. The old man is apparently doing some cleanup work.
Hello there. Got a sec?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis No. 1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, of course. But a big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound, they don't know what they doing.
Tell me about yourself.
That's about all there is to say.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, No. 1.
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins will float right out of their grave. Ha! Them dead will go floating right down into the Dakota. Of course, if it were Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice. It's a historical place. People buried in here from the Civil War. Back further, too. Take a look around. You'll see.
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, No. 1.
Just look around. You'll get the feel of the place.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Sure. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans. A powerful voodooienne and a powerful sorcerer. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leave offerings. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from that voodoo museum, he's here at least once a day. But Marie Laveau's tomb isn't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
You said there were other locked tombs?
Yep. I've seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, plates of peas and cornbread, animal parts, human parts even, it look like. Male parts, if you get my meaning. And this is one of the great family crypts, mind you. Odd how them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
What other tombs got marked? Can you show me?
No, I ain't one for naming names. I don't like to encourage that kind of thing. It's distressing to the families, and rightly so.
What else can you tell me about Marie Laveau?
Her tomb's on all our tours. Even the Baptists come round here to gawk. Of course, you may not know this, but some of the real serious voodoo types argue that she ain't in this one at all. Down in the unmarked tomb in No. 3. It's all the same to me, I say. Saved me a lot of cleanup work if she weren't here, if you ask me.
Do you have any idea what Capri Saint-Call means?
Nope, can't say that I do.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
Well, St. John the Baptist is the patron saint of voodoo. Sometimes we get weird goings-on in the cemetery on that night. More often on a few nights before. People taking grave dirt, bones, and who know what.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yep. Don't know what they do with them, but it can be pretty.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
I told you all I know about that.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Seems like everyone wants to visit New Orleans at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery tours. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
There are lots of things to see here, but none as beautiful as St. Louis Cemetery No. 1.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
If you want to know more, you should ask someone else.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I don't really care to talk about it. I don't do it none myself.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Isn't it just awful, them finding those bodies with the voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody trying to cover their tracks is all.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I told you all I know about that.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them aren't poisonous, of course. I don't mind snakes myself, but lots of folks are afraid of them.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I told you all I know about that.
You been working here a long time?
Longer than you've been alive, son. I mayhaps be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
Kind of a quiet job you got, isn't it?
Most of the time, yeah. They act up some at the full moon, though.
You must enjoy the company of dead folks.
Unlike the living, they ain't never given no reason to dislike them none.
How's business today?
About like every day. It's what you call a seller's market.